Do you ever think how your style is different than, say, Rocksteady in the Bronx in 1977? Like, you bring different things to it.
Yeah, but I'm still very inspired by the old footage, and I get most of my inspiration from old school footage. Uh, I think that's very important to study the old school and try to flip that instead of um, watching people from just one generation before me or from watching people as the same generation like me. I think if you're starting as a kid right now and you start looking at BC1 and you get inspired by that, you get inspired by people that been inspired by other people so many times. So the inspiration is in a way like third hand or like fourth hand inspiration. Uh, so I really like to like go back to the source and get inspired by that. And the way they touch the floor, to me, it's like a timeless thing. And it's still like necessary for me to still have a glimpse of that old school touch in my dance.
What do you see when you look at those old school videos?
Well, it's like magic to me. Like I wanna jump in a time machine and go back in time.
What do you notice?
It's so pure.
Yeah.
It's so it's so young still and so pure. Um, and of course the competitions, like they weren't around like they were now. So it was really more like an expression even more than it's right now. Like it's also turning into a business right now a little bit.
Back then it was for respect, right?
Yeah.
And rep.
Yeah.
And it was almost like there were fewer tools, so the tools they had were perfected.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen some of the clean lines like I've seen in those old school footage. Like,
Yeah.
they were these basic moves, but some power moves too, but they're doing them in a way I don't see anybody doing these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you have so many moves you can train or you can make up. Back then, I don't know if I would break. If you would put me back in time and have me break there, maybe they would say like he's not even breaking. They would say he's doing something else. But that's how breaking grew. Yeah.
And so, what is your style?
My style is all about transitions. So it's all about how I go from move to move. Like I travel over the floor with unpredictable movements. So I like to tell stories. And another thing a lot of people know me for is my flow. So I try to be very flowly and mix things up in a creative way.
How do you tell
But
a story?
still have the touch of a classical b-boy in it.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
How do you tell stories? How can a guy on a floor tell a story?
It needs to make sense. It needs to have a build up. It needs to go somewhere, and it needs to start somewhere. It needs to end somewhere. So you cannot just do a move, get up, dance a little bit, get down again, do another move. That would look like somebody is just saying whatever. So if you could like work, if people could follow you in your round and they would look at your round and they would follow everything till the end like this, then it's a story. How to tell a story? It's easier to show in a physical way than to say it.
Yeah.
But
And what did we just do? What did you want to do with me today? And tell people, what was that first 30, 40 minutes like?
I wanted you to focus on simplicity and to move in very simple ways instead of thinking very deeply about bigger moves. So
Which is what you probably see in a lot of people starting these days.
yeah, so I wanted to work on your in betweens. So I don't know how to say this in English, but these words you use to build up a line. I wanted you to work on those type of words instead of just like bike or or shoe. I want you to learn
Like the
that bike.
like the prepositions and the articles
Yeah.
and the small words that
Yes.
join the bigger words.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people start off with B-boys. They want to learn the windmill.
Yeah.
They want to learn the air flare. They
Yeah.
want to learn the head spin because those are the flashy moves.
Yeah.
But you want to focus on the transitions, the basics, the flow, the floor, all these things that most people go right past.
Yeah.
Like a great boxing teacher will make you learn the jab for like 2 years. But nobody wants to learn a jab. They all want to learn the flashy overhand right that they see the KOs. But the boxing teacher knows that the jab is what's going to get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get me to focus on those.
Yeah.
And it was, it's so weird. It always fascinates me. We got 2 legs and 2 feet and 2 knees.
Yeah.
And they're joined at the hips. You would think there's only so many combinations there. But when I see you on the ground and when you teach me, there's like an infinite number of moves and flows, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, to me that's why it's so addictive, because every time I go practice, I figure out new stuff. And that's a very satisfying feeling for me. And every time I'm working on something, I have this moment like, okay, I can use it in this way. And then I come back home, and when I'm at home, I review my training. I'm watching back what I filmed, and I'm like, wait a minute, what if I use this move and I put it together with this one? It becomes something else, and it's like a never-ending process. And that's why it's so addictive for me to always train and always create.